What's going on, YouTube world? We're back with another one, and we're gonna talk about what does early mean, right? You hear a lot of, ball reviewers, and just, company talk like, oh, this is an early bowling ball, right? What does that look like on the lane, especially when a lot of folks bowl on house shots? And some, an earlier bowl ball can be a good thing. Sometimes it may not be a good thing. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And we got this one, the new Paragon Shadow, which I believe is a hybrid, well, it comes with Surface. This looks like, honestly, like the Paradox Black. That's what I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to see it and immediately think. But we have this ball here, we have the Criterion Hybrid, and we also have the Stealth Mode. So these all have varying amounts of early hook, right? And I think, even the Criterion Hybrid might still be considered, a cleaner bowling ball, but it's a really still strong core in it that still wants to pick up and be a little rollier. Now I can get on the lane and all that can go out the window, honestly. But I honestly believe, again, I haven't thrown this one shot, this ball's going to be a little smoother. Again, that's just my early prediction, especially, again, with the out-of-box surface on it. So we're going to look at this, right? Which ball's the earliest? And what does that really mean? How does that translate on the lane? Typically, people are referring to, Ion Maxes or even the Mesmerize, but the Mesmerize still kind of falls into this cleaner asymmetric look. So again, like there's a lot of earlier stuff on the market, but today, again, of course, we're talking about the Paragon Shadow. So we're gonna get to throwing a couple shots. And then as I'm looking at the ball reaction, once I move to the right, once I move to the left, what is this ball doing, right? And we'll kind of describe what that early ball motion is that I'm seeing, if I see it at all. But we should be able to go through, the Paragon Shadow, the Stealth Mode, and the Criterion Hybrid and see some distinctly different ball motion. So that's what I want to get started with, guys. But yeah, get to Coolwick.com. They have the Coolwick Elite Collection. There's some stuff that's a little bit cleaner, don't have the logos plastered across the chest. So again, just different design choices, man. And I'm a big fan of these. Then also, you can always go to Bowlersmart and pick up the bowling balls, man. Of course, like all release dates, all information is right on the website. So go check it out over there. Then the shoes, man, I know it's gonna be questioned. Y'all gonna be asking me, man, what shoes are they? What are those? These are the pink Hype Pluses. If you're new to the channel, bro, you still can get them somewhere. I think you might be able to find them on discount now. Links below, guys. I'm trying to put you on game, man. I'm trying. I'm gonna lay out all my asymmetric stuff. Again, 60 by 5 by 30. On Asym, symmetrics is 60 by 4.5 by 30. Asyms are trying to get the ball to get down the lane a little bit more before it picks up, because it's naturally gonna pick up a little bit sooner. That looked pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. Like, surface is typically, like, it translates to a little bit earlier ball motion, but you saw that ball pick up, and also the tricky part is, when these balls pick up so quickly, how much energy do they lose going through the pins? Sometimes you see a lot of bowling balls, and they just don't go through the pins. Like, because they're burning up. You hear that term burning up. Like when it uses too much energy, when this battery is used very quickly on the lane, it goes down, down, down. So it's not unloading. It has no energy left when it gets to the pins. This one looked pretty good that first shot. And this is like a mildly used house shot. Like I've pretty much just warmed up on this lane. Yeah, still staying on 25. That's throwing pins around. That's looking pretty good, man. Typically, these are types of bowling balls you start game one with. It gives you a little more forgiveness left to right because it's earlier hooking. Like it's gonna blend the lane, right? So meaning, again, you can miss left and you can miss right, and it should still leave you makeables. I'm gonna move one. I was on 25. I'm gonna jump 5 left. I'm gonna go to 30. This should die. at the pins. That was pretty good. Like that did it. So again, early, got to some of the thicker oils, it did the job. So, all right, I struck from right there. I'm gonna go to 20 now. See what we get. I'm trying to probably throw it a little bit faster, just a pinch. Oh, okay. I wonder, honestly, if I just didn't throw it that much faster, would it just have walked into the pocket? Like that was really good. I think I struck every shot until that one. I know it wasn't that many shots, but that ball, it's one of them lines, man, that just work. Like, you know, Paragon, Criterion, you know, all these ons, man, you know, Flareon, you know, for all my Pokemon folks. Oh, super high. But that is exactly like, I didn't have to change my hand a whole lot, right? The ball red slowed down, right? So all bowling balls to hook, right, have to slow down. And it walked in there, like still high, right? I left some pins up there, but that was what you like to see. So now let's go ahead and throw the stealth mode, right? So we can see like how much cleaner that bowling ball is in relation to this one. Because I think it's not gonna look as good because of the fresher oil. I think getting left, the Paragon, the shadow is probably gonna pick up, where this one is probably gonna get a little more behind the head pin. This might strike. Like way cleaner down the lane, right? I'm talking about early hook, right? So the stealth out of box was like 1500. So it still has traction, but the core is symmetrical in this particular ball. So this one is not gonna read the lane as quickly as that big Asym will, which is the shadow. I'm gonna go to 25. So again, I threw that one like really bad. I came like really off the side of it, and it's not going to be nearly as consistent on fresher oil than what we're going to see from the Paragon, because again, this is why you have a full arsenal. Like the stealth mode is going to be a great option after we've destroyed the lane with the shadow, 1000%. And the stealth mode, again, is a non-HK22 bowling ball. So let's throw a good shot here. Good shot. Oh, that ball's still in play. Still in play. So again, I believe honestly, it's going to be a little more directional, you know, than the Paragon, because storing way more energy. So again, if you like to see a little more shape, right, you're gonna see a little more shape out of the stealth mode. But again, striking, I need to be striking right now, I'm throwing the Paragon shadow. That's exactly what I'm throwing. So I'm gonna get all the way left now, see what we get. Oh, super inside. So, again, I honestly felt that the shadow probably still would have walked into the pocket because it would have bled off enough energy. But we're gonna throw one more. But I just want you to be able to, again, visualize why these balls are different, even though they both have surface on them. But there's a pretty significant difference in shape. So, again, still worked, but if you watch these shots back, right, and let's play these shots back for you, you'll see, right, the shadow is digging much earlier, getting to a roll much quicker, where the stealth mode is just cleaner and definitely more directional off the break point. So I'm gonna throw one right here as well with the shadow. So where the stealth mode definitely, I feel like, crashed through the pins more because it was storing, right? We're seeing more deflection at the pins with the shadow. So the shadow's like, nah, I don't need to be that far left currently. So moving to the comfort zone, move back right 5, going back to 25. Drove clean through the rag. Like that, drilled through the A pin. So this is, honestly, like from the top of my bag, I'm kind of feeling like this ball's gonna go. I'm going to TNBA National soon, and by the time this video's out, I'm already there. But this predictable ball motion is really what I'm looking for. And again, like I'm filling this out with you guys, you know, like this, I like this shape. Like to fill out a bag, just in case you don't know what you're getting into. Like that roll, splash. That looks good. Looks good. All right, so the earliest so far, right, is 100% the shadow. Now we're gonna pick up the criterion, right? Because the stealth mode we saw was very clean, but still had pop. But now we're going to something that has compound on it. And the criterion is an asymmetric ball as well. So, same layout. See the difference, man. 25. Okay, so is it the time for this ball? No, but definitely floated down the lane so much more than I feel like the other two, and that's in partial because of the finishes. So this one has compound, the other two has surface on them. Criterion gives me like a stronger control ball. I'm gonna move right, go to 20, see what it does. Should get to the pocket pretty easily. So I'm gonna see if that was me or the ball. Definitely was a little inside, right? But I was expecting the ball to kind of float a little bit more. But again, cleaner ball, more responsive. That's gives us that. Better shot. Wow. So the stealth mode and the criterion, I feel like work pretty okay, but you're gonna pay maximum penalty, right, if I miss left at all, right? It's gonna just break, go big 4 or worse. But this is definitely, once the lane starts to transition, you can go to this ball. So, and depending on who's on the lane, right? Like a lot of factors go into, especially talking about just a league set or even a tournament, right? If you start and you're not moving pairs, who you start with and what they are using, whether that's your thing, whether it's a big asymmetric ball with a ton of surface, you know, with 500 or 1,000, right? That's gonna cause me to make different decisions when I'm moving, you know, from, you know, whether I can go from the Paragon Shadow to the stealth mode, or I need to go right to a criterion, because maybe I'm trying to make a zone change and they've burnt up the break point. Break point, again, where the pattern ends, you kind of meet some of the friction. So that changes, again, the mentality. So if I need to get a little bit further left quicker, right, I might go to the criterion because maybe I started bowling on a pair and three or four guys, right, were using a lot of surface with a lot of rev rate. All right, so I need to move before, again, I see my ball start doing something crazy. So ball like criterion will make more sense. But I'm bowling a pair that not a lot of surface is being used, then it might be a more gradual, you know, I could still go to a solid bowling ball like the stealth mode that's a little bit cleaner, but again, still solid, and I don't need to be as far to the left. So those are different factors to keep in mind because, again, this ball is still cleaner than the stealth mode. and you can see how much cleaner than it is in the stealth mode like that. So, you know, that happens. It happens, guys. We'll keep it authenticano. I'm down here in South Florida too. That's why that happens. I had those mental things. All right, so we're gonna bounce back to the shadow. And again, I think you should be able to have seen, right, like these shapes, that we're getting a much more controlled back-end reaction from the shadow. Reasons why, because it's the earliest of these bowling balls. So it's losing the most energy the quickest. So it's gonna give us a more of an arc shape. Game one is what I'm looking for. Nationals, stuff like that, I'm looking for these type of shapes. Again, depending on what you're bowling on, you know, who's on your pair, how you guys breaking them down. Is everybody staying, you know, into the same zone? That matters. But a ball like shadow would definitely be in the bag. 25. Oh, I got really high in my backswing too. Yeah. That's more of a me thing. That's not the ball. I felt it just mechanically. I was like, oh, that went a little high, a little quick. All right, we're gonna throw one more shot here with this stealth mode, so you get a little bit of an idea again. Yep, starting to burn up a little bit, starting to getting a little more behind the head pin. You know, so we're starting to need to go to, again, the stealth mode. Just what you gotta do. Go stealth mode, same spot. Hit my leg. Oh yeah. Woo. I hit my leg, that ball take off. Alrighty. Same spot. Nope. Much cleaner. As you saw, that ball just. So, stuff to keep in mind, which one is the earliest? What does early mean, man? Hopefully you were able to see some of that. All right, we're gonna get a much more archier bowling ball when we see earlier ball reaction. And again, good for the fresh, right? Give you a lot of control. And then slowly, as that early bowling ball is too early, you need to transition to quicker stuff to get to the pocket and continue to carry. So, yeah, man, early stuff that hooks in that first, you know, about 20 feet, right? You see this ball trying to really pick up and rev, and stuff that's a little bit cleaner, right? Which the stealth mode, a little bit cleaner. And the criterion, a little bit cleaner, much further down the lane. So hopefully they would answer some questions today. Hopefully you're able to see some things. Appreciate your time, man. I love you guys like a play cousin. And Charles Hutchins tonight, Bowlersmart.com.
You sleeping on me, just keep snoozing. I'm so locked in right now. Everything I work for ain't never gonna change.